Hypixel and Mineplex were once the two titans of Minecraft, each boasting upwards of 30,000 concurrent players at their peaks in 2015. Both servers would fight to maintain their player bases throughout 2016, but ultimately, as you may know, one titan conquered the other. That's right, these days, Mineplex is a shadow of its former self, and while it still does get decent players, it's almost 10 times less than they used to. Hypixel, on the other hand, is comfortably the most popular server in the game, frequently seeing 60,000 plus players on at peak times. So how did Hypixel successfully grow so large, and how did Mineplex fail to keep up with them? Hypixel and Mineplex were never directly at war, but it seems that Hypixel grew exponentially, potentially swaying many of Mineplex's players over to them. So what happened? Well, to start off, Hypixel has always been credited with creating fantastic new game modes such as Bed Wars, which see roaring success. They have also been credited with adding their own spin to old game modes, which some players regard as a significant improvement, such as with Skywars. Now Mineplex also did this, and had an array of unique game modes such as Champions and Super Smash Mobs, as well as a bunch of other one-of-a-kind minigames and party games. However, Mineplex's games were plagued by issues often complained about by the community, such as bugs, cheaters, and lag. They also did not receive updates very frequently, which could be due to the splitting of the development team, but we will talk about that later. Players may also have been fed up with dealing with these issues and abandon a server to look for another server to play on. If they decide to go to Hypixel, which a lot of them did, then they would be able to have a similar experience of playing a unique game mode, but with a team which is dedicated to updating the game mode and fixing bugs and issues. So this is where Hypixel stood out. They were determined to keep their game modes updated, as well as provide the best experience possible to players by fixing issues relatively fast. But what if the players liked Mineplex's unique game modes and didn't have too many issues with lag or bugs? Well, as previously mentioned, Mineplex's development team got split up, where half went to their Bedrock server and the other half remained on the Java server. This meant that issues or bugs in games took much longer to get fixed, and updates which were already scarce were almost non-existent. Basically, Mineplex could generate a large audience with their unique games, but failed to retain them due to rare updates and unfixed bugs and issues. But the main issue with the split up of the developmental team was the closing of multiple popular game modes, specifically minigames. Players still complain about this on the forums today, and many players have left Mineplex entirely due to their favourite game mode or game modes being closed. Now let's talk about a major factor, YouTube, specifically YouTubers. Mineplex's original rise to #1 popularity began with their partnership with large YouTubers such as Captain Sparkles, who would bring in waves of new players to the server, as well as other YouTubers who saw the content he was making and decided to do something similar. Mineplex also had a dedicated channel to them called Mineplex Official, which had a few 100,000 subscribers. Mineplex had a significant YouTube presence during 2014 and 2015, and I'm sure if you used to watch a lot of Minecraft YouTubers back then, you would have most likely heard of Mineplex from them. Well, starting in mid-2016, Minecraft in general began declining in popularity, and these YouTubers may have moved on or become less popular. There was a lot less Mineplex content on YouTube, and thus, Mineplex was not really gaining any new players. This would be fine, the server was so large at the time that it didn't need new players to be one of the most popular servers in the world. But as I mentioned before, Mineplex fails to retain their players, and as such, they slowly lost players over time while not gaining any new players to compensate for it. So a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers stopped making content on Mineplex, which was bad enough. But to make things worse for the server, lots of new Hypixel YouTubers sprung up, which rapidly gained popularity through game modes such as Bed Wars and Skywars. Some of the YouTubers grew through Hypixel, where some others already had a large following and would play Hypixel for other content. This very much increased the popularity of Hypixel and drew thousands of new players in. With the closing of popular PvP server Badlion Network in 2018, many players moved on to Hypixel, where they could play UHCs, which is sort of a Minecraft Battle Royale similar to survival games, but you can break blocks and build everywhere. UHCs are also much more competitive than survival games, which attracted lots of viewership to YouTube channels dedicated to making this content. Hypixel also added competitive Skyblock and added leaderboards for game modes such as Bed Wars. This means that Hypixel not only attracted the casual player to their server, but also competitive players. Mineplex did have UHCs at one stage, but they were later shut down. So basically, to summarize, Hypixel is catering for all types of players, whether they're casual or competitive, you name it. They want their server to be all-inclusive and fun for everyone who joins, in order to retain a player base. Mineplex does not do this, or at least not anymore, and this is another reason why they could not retain players. Now, in my last video on Mineplex, I did a lag comparison of 2014 Mineplex and current day Mineplex, and the results displayed that the server hadn't really gotten any laggier. But that doesn't change the fact that the server is still very laggy. I play from Australia, so both Mineplex and Hypixel will have significant lag for me, but the lag on Mineplex is significantly worse and less stable. Mineplex's lag fluctuates much more often, and there is lots and lots of large lag spikes where players will not be able to move or do anything for a certain period of time. The lag on Hypixel, however, is consistent, and there is rarely any large lag spikes or fluctuations, making it actually quite playable. I decided to do another little lag test, displaying the difference between the lag on Mineplex and Hypixel. Remember that this is not concrete evidence, and there are many other factors which contribute to lag, but it still gives us a good idea of which server performs better. So Mineplex and Hypixel are both servers which have had many great game modes, but in Mineplex's case, these game modes can sometimes be neglected, and server issues and bugs are not resolved fast enough. While I personally believe both servers are great, Hypixel has been successful in drawing players into their server and retaining them, as well as catering for multiple types of audiences and players. Hypixel also has a much larger YouTube presence, and was thus successful in conquering Mineplex and gaining a very large player base to make them the #1 server in the world. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to tell me any experiences you've had with Hypixel or Mineplex in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.